We are back and better than ever. And it's February and it's cold, but the sun is making a guest appearing. I don't know where you're watching from. You could be watching from Bahrain or Saudi Arabia or maybe Spain or Nairobi, Kenya. We don't know. This is how the internet works. It's always Nairobi, Kenya. Whoa. Double the fun. So welcome to another episode of Econ Dev on the Move. See, I just gave it a fake name. Econ Dev on the Move, right? So that you can learn all things startup and business, and you can really get a hold on your enterprise and make it expand and deepen your roots and make the connections and connect the dots and get very clear on whom it is that you're serving and how to best identify how to create a unique market for yourself and how to stand out for your business. So I'm excited. My name is Andre. I have my illustrious co-host who's in the building.
I'm Mara, Economic Development Program Manager.
And I'm Michelle Rea, and I help with our marketing and logistics.
And we are talking about, this is part 2 to the barriers, the 5 barriers. 5, not 4, not 7, not 2.
It's a lot of barriers.
It's a lot of barriers for business growth. It's funny. Let's recap a little bit from last week's discussion. You guys remember anything from last week? And it seems so far away.
I feel like last week, Jalil had started talking about, talking about your team. But then, given our wonderful speaker in our Thrive session, Chef Dio.
Amazing.
I kind of took it back to the lack of strategic planning and vision, because she is just such a great example of someone who had incredible vision.
Absolutely.
And executed on the vision, and because of the vision being so clear, then an incredible team was able to be formed. And so I feel like you got to start at the vision in order to have a good team. If you don't know what you're looking for and what kind of people you want to hire, you're never going to be able to scale.
What would the both of you say then what is for you personally, what is compelling about a vivid vision of a company, or organization, an individual that draws you in? So you think about any of the brands that you might be attracted to in real life that you say, I've always admired this brand. They really have good quality. I like the story. I like the way they resonate. I just know every time I go to interact with this company, this has been a good result. And everything, it could be everything from clothing to vehicles that you drive, anything. Let's talk a little bit about that without giving them shout outs too much.
No shout outs.
Unless they want to give a sponsorship, we can talk kind of like generically about them. But if y'all want to bring them sponsorships in, we say your name all day long.
Well, for me, understanding that I am a true entrepreneur, the thing that gets my attention about a company is their system. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You could say a name.
Does it work like a well-oiled machine, or is it raggedy? Because I don't do raggedy. You know what I'm saying? So you will get my money every time if I can depend on consistency and quality and customer service and all the things. So I am everybody's target customer because I go where I'm valued.
So where there's value, where there's dependability, where there's consistency, these are the things that attract you to go to a business. Can you think of some that you remember even from childhood that you still are connected to as an adult?
Ooh. I mean, they don't exist anymore.
Oh, wow.
But I can consistently remember going to Old Country Buffet after church on Sundays.
Wow.
Right? You're going to have a great time.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
it's not home cooking.
No.
But it is the welcoming environment. They are amped up with all the fixings, fully stocked, replenished. replenishing on time, you know, clean space for you and your family to enjoy. So they got our money consistently.
Because they were consistently ready to receive.
Yeah.
That's
true.
good. So being ready to receive, and as you
Mhm.
said, dependable, being consistent,
Mhm.
that you can count on them. You said it was orderly because you went in and they would be ready for it, and people were lined up.
Yeah.
And you know, if you have those good memories, because what makes an unpleasant memory is, I have to call this restaurant out. A lot of people love it, but I don't understand why. Still to this day, because I have family members that love this restaurant. Why are the lines so long at Cheesecake Factory? Why are the waits so long at Cheesecake Factory?
Oh.
It's like you're waiting to get into a 7-star restaurant. That's even a thing.
Yeah.
But it's the Cheesecake Factory. And you're like, what's on the menu that,
Yeah.
you know how I mean? It's like you
I
pull up,
understand.
it doesn't even
first
look
of
that
all,
busy.
They have a menu with 50 items.
There we go.
So
Too many choices.
I always
There's
fail
something
when I go there because I
for
never know what to
everyone.
get, and I'm never happy with what I get because it's too many things. You cannot be that good at 50
50
different
things.
things. You know.
That's good. So they haven't pared down to what they're really, really honing in on. Because
Yeah.
it's called Cheesecake Factory, and you would just think they'd have some cheesecake offerings.
I do love their
and then like
cheesecake though.
four things.
They've
of it.
mastered
They've
that.
mastered what they say they do. Their Cheesecake Factory. I had my first red velvet cheesecake there.
Okay.
Till this day, I'll go get me a red velvet cheesecake slice there.
Mhm.
I love it. Probably not the greatest thing for me. I'll still eat it.
So do the both of you feel that it's worth the wait?
No.
When they say
Never.
if you pull up and they say it's about 82 minutes. You know?
Here's the thing.
Like,
I
like
always
just
do
nonchalant. Just tell you 90 minutes. You're like, excuse me? Did you
I
just
always
say?
do takeout
Okay.
for my cheesecake.
Um,
And there's rarely time that I want food. They do have a great happy hour menu, very affordable.
mm.
I like to go to the one downtown. It's just a nice vibe.
Well, see, that's the thing is they set a certain expectation.
Mm.
So if this is, you know, it's not hoity-toity like Jalil would say,
Mhm.
but if the expectation is to go and have a sit-down style dinner with your loved ones or
Yeah.
one, and you want to be able to sit there and take up some time and all
Yeah.
the things, that behavior is encouraged. It's not fast food.
Yeah.
So don't expect
And
to
my
get in there
goodness,
and
it's
out
so
in 30
dark.
minutes. Yeah, the mood.
I can't
is
see
set.
my menu. Pull my phone out. I said, I know I can't be getting
You
that
can't
old.
Oh,
see
yeah.
the menu.
And you need your
can't
readers.
see each other. If you want to be
can't
in the
hear
dark,
each other 'cause
take
the music's
yourself
loud.
to the Cheesecake Factory. But something's working because all their locations are still open. Even their
Yes.
downtown location is still working.
People want to get lost in the ambiance.
And for my 8th grade graduation, about 20-something 8th graders all went down there. They sat all of us.
Mhm,
Yeah.
And all of us had our little $30, $40 from our parents for graduating.
mhm.
And so we all spent our money real well that night. We
Right on.
had a
Oh,
great
yes.
time.
See, they deliver.
So I don't know. So you
Shout out
might
to
not
the cheese.
love
They got the
Cheesecake Factory.
formula.
Yeah.
They
So
got
as
it.
much as I'm still beefing with your long lines, y'all got some sort of formula that's working. So what about you? What are some brands or some companies that you
I
have?
was going to say this actually goes perfectly into the next topic, the poor customer service.
Mm.
That's a barrier there because, I mean, Mara was saying, if you treat me right, I'm going to come back every time.
Mhm.
I mean, for some people, the Cheesecake Factory, they're treated right, so they don't mind waiting that long.
Mhm.
They're really consistent on their cheesecake. I know what the cheesecake's going to taste like every time I go in there.
Wow, that matters.
You know?
Yeah.
And for me, I was just thinking, like, when I was in college, and I could finally afford to buy myself fancy studying tools, I invested in, this company's really great at taking over all of your electronics. You buy all of it because you need all of it.
Put you in the verse.
But the thing is the continuous thing. Like, I could work on my laptop in the library on something, and then, oh shoot, I gotta get to class. I could open up that same document I was working on my laptop on my iPad now,
Mhm.
and I could use my pen to take notes, by handwritten notes. I no longer had to buy pencils. I no longer had to care about highlighters. I could highlight with this one tool. And then you can put your laptop and your iPad right next to each other. I could watch a video and be taking notes. Or I could be watching a video on my computer and be taking notes on my iPad. And then everything was available on my phone. So for me, it was just like, again, thinking about the customer service. What are you delivering to your user? And how it just made my life so much easier. It's thousands of dollars in these products. But every year, when I had a little bit of money left over in my financial aid, I was buying myself an Apple Pencil, upgrading my iPad.
Mm-hmm.
Something my brother, when he went to college, I gave him my iPad and my Apple Pencil. It's worked for him so much. He currently just went and upgraded, bought himself the newest iPad and the newest pencil, and gave that one to our younger sister.
Right on.
So it's just like,
Did you
for me, it's just
systematize your life.
it's systematized our lives, everybody's.
So it says that's a thank you for that. It says according to Forbes, businesses are losing $62 billion per year through poor customer service. So unless you're Dick's Last Resort, poor customer service is probably not built into your business model. Bad customer service can be detrimental to your company. Poor reputation will deter top talent from wanting to work for your company. Nobody wants to deal with unhappy customers. You may also lose your employees.
Mm-hmm.
And customers want consistent, as you said, timely and personalized service. So how many of you, and this is those of you watching, when you're going to a business establishment that you frequent quite often, how many of you are drawn back more to the places that actually remember you and remember things about you?
Mm.
They remember the nuances, they remember the order, they remember, there's one place that I go, and shout out to them because they've seen me through a life cycle. I'm a person of repetition. My wife makes fun of me, my children make fun of me. They say they can predict what I'm doing during the day. That's how I am, just because I want to keep a system. As you guys talk about, I want a system.
So you've systematized.
Yeah, I want a system that's going to work, and I'm not going to deviate from it. They're like, we know what you ordered. Oh, he had the blah, 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 and the blah, blah, blah. So one of the restaurants I went to, I ended up losing my voice for 90 days. I had strep throat and laryngitis at the same time. Imagine that, right?
Absolutely not.
Don't want to imagine it. So during that time, it was very humbling, needless to say, because when people talk to you, you still have to go about, you're doing the thing that the doctor tells you, which is don't talk. And then you're trying to stay home and stay away from people. But of course, things still have to go on with real life. And, you know, I happen to have a black wife, shout out to black wives. But so their compassion only runs so far before when you have children, you still got to get in the game. Like, no, you still going to order Chipotle. I don't got a voice. Oh, you going to go in and still go pick up the Chipotle for the kids. So I'm in there finding out how to make the phone talk. I type the words and then have the little Siri voice on there. I would like may I have a burrito, please? So with that being said, one of the restaurants I went to, they recommended that I start drinking hot water, lemon, and honey. And so they would always give me hot water, lemon, and honey. And it really did help. It brought so much refreshing to it. And then even still to this point, when I go in to go sit down at this place, they always have it ready for me. I come in, I don't even have to say that. They come and bring it. They come and bring the other little things that I like, and they always know what my orders are. One customer service, when we talk about good customer service versus poor customer service, he went above and beyond at this restaurant. Him and another server were the first ones to memorize my orders. But then not only that, he took it another level because he was going back and forth to go visit his family that was further out of state. So say they were in like Yakima or Spokane or something. So he's going out, and so he would go away and then come back and then work, and you know how the transitory nature of restaurants. Mm-hmm. So this guy, before he left, he made a sheet with all my orders typed up and laminated it in the back.
Wow.
But I didn't even know this. One of the other managers, who was a new manager, came and was just like, oh yeah, we have he's like, I know all your orders. They're in the back. I said, they're in the back? He said, yeah. So
you're talking about shout out to black wives, but Mexican wives be like, you don't have lunch money this week. You better come home. You better take the lunch I made you, put it in the microwave, and warm it up.
So real. So he had put together the sheet, and it was crazy because when I realized that, it made me recognize that's a level above.
That is awesome. Like, do you have a table with your name on it at this restaurant?
I'm telling you.
Do they do that for everybody?
No, and so I realized, I said, next time I see him, because I knew he was going to be gone, and I didn't know how long, but it's not like I go every day, but I knew that. I said, if I come in again and he happens to be here, I'm going to really, really give him a really great tip. I was like, I talked with my wife, she was like, oh, definitely, like, bless him.
Absolutely.
Because that's big. And so he was so embarrassed, he didn't want to take it, I was like, please, bro, don't block my blessing. You know what I'm saying? But I bring that to you to say, $62 billion is lost because of the things that Mara first identified, which is not consistent, right? The customer service bad customer service can be detrimental to your company in many ways. Customers want consistent, timely, and personalized service.
Mm-hmm.
So the example I just gave is personalized. Yeah. There's no reason why if you constantly frequent a business, that they don't take time to get to know you. You're spending your time there and you're spending your money there. And yes, it's an exchange. It's not like you're giving your money and getting nothing back. You're getting a product. But it shows the extra personalization that they say, how's it going, Mara? How's it going today? Or good evening, or good afternoon. Or, man, thank you for good seeing you again. Have a good day.
There's a business up in North Seattle, and I've discovered it when I was living in North Seattle. I probably will never live in North Seattle again. But the server there is so wonderful. I just love going up there. 1, to see her. 2, to leave her a great tip. And 3, the food is incredible. It's so delicious and it's reasonably priced. But she's just so, I've been thinking about you guys, or I'm so glad you guys came in. And I wanted to go the other day, but then I said, well, every time we went, she's always there. But I don't know if the day will come that she's not there. Or does she work every day of the week? Because we went on the most random days and she's always there. There's some people who are just, and I mean, I think that also goes to your employees. If you have employees who go above and beyond and make these experiences special for your clients, that's something also really important to keep in mind.
It directly, it represents your brand, but it directly affects the feeling in their stomach when they think about the experience. Like, ooh, I can't wait to get, so I have this restaurant that I've been going to for decades, not very often. However, whenever I go to Seattle, which unfortunately isn't that frequent anymore, but if I'm downtown, I stop by the Pike Place Market and visit the Filipino family that has their store and restaurant there. It's called Oriental Mart. And I mean, I can remember back in the day when I didn't have a lot of money. So I would just be like, can I just get rice with adobo sauce on it? It was like $1.50, all the years I worked downtown. Now it's such a joy to go there and just see that they're still there for one, right? Because restaurant
became
business
a staple. It's very transitory,
especially downtown Seattle. You go with the seasons. Like when they're up, you're up. When they're down, you're down. And so I just love spending money there. I just put a little extra salt and pepper on my rice, and it's perfect. So that's the experience that you want people to have when they think about your services that you offer, or what they're going to look like or feel like when they leave, coming into contact with your business enterprise. So it makes a difference.
And when they notice you, as humans, we do like to be noticed. You can be the most private person ever. Yet, if someone took the time to personalize to be able to serve, there's a verse that says, "The greatest amongst you shall be the servant of all." So great customer service begins with, and I heard somebody say a profound quote. I was driving. I said, I have to make a voice memo with this because it just was hitting me. And I said, this is powerful. She was saying how this lady has created quite a bit of training for helping people identify what their strengths are and what their gifts are. And she was saying how organizations and companies pride themselves on employees and leadership that are the brightest. So he's the brightest, or she's the most skillful, or she's the smartest, and so everybody's in this race to be that person for those qualities. And she says, to me, it's not the thought leader and it's not the academic leader. She said, real leaders are the ones that care the most. And I was like, that's heavy. So she said it's that they lead through they care enough about those who they're serving that are working alongside of them or under their management, that they're lifting them up to develop them into who they are. And I said, oh my gosh, this is profound. So when you run a business, do people feel elevated? Do they feel, there's a biblical word that talks about exhortation or encouraged, that they're building up, they feel fortified? Do you magnify the customer and make the customer bigger, or do you make yourself bigger? We love how one of our coaches, Chris, always talks about that in the story, who's the hero in the story? And it's based off of the Donald Miller Story Brand book. But who's the hero of the story?
The customer.
The customer. It's always the customer. And we think that it's going to be us, and us flying in at the nick of time to save everything and to make everything right. And that selfish, self-centered, short-sighted view is hindering. We read a verse about how, writing a vision and making it plain so that the herald can run with it, so that someone can run with it. Do you have a vivid vision that's attractive, that makes the environment uncomfortable when people are not exhibiting great customer service, where people are not others focused, where people are not selfless, that they don't feel comfortable to be in your org and be self-centered? My mom told me about, she was at a grocery store, which I won't put on the hook right now by saying what she said, but basically there was something bad that was written on one of their pillars in there. And she was upset because her granddaughter saw it. So she went and she said something to an employee. It was like, hey, get this, clean this off. And the person acted like apathetic, kind of like, oh, well, they didn't really do anything. So she came back and looked around, went through the store, and then came back and found a manager. And the manager was, I'm stationed at the self-checkout, so I can't go. What is this, ma'am? Because my mom said, hey, can you come with me? And the person was like, what? I'm doing self-checkout. How far is this? Do I need to move? And she said, what is this about? And then my mom repeated what was on the thing. She said, oh, somebody wrote this on the, they were like, oh, how come it's right away? So, but here's the point. She was saying how the person didn't put much effort into getting it cleaned off, whereas, and she's saying, since it's a business that I frequent, if I go back, maybe I don't need to get the little teenage manager. Maybe I need to get the higher manager to make this happen, because they can lose a lot of credibility with their customers when they're not taken care of. And she even said, when the manager asked her, was like, oh, did you tell any? And she went to go, knew there was, my mom went back to this, she was going to point out the employee and that employee was disappeared because he ran. He was like, oh, you ain't going to hold me accountable. I said, you looked back and saw a dust cloud. He was,
no evidence.
She about to ask me? No. So the point of that conversation that I had with her was, that's real customer service, is being mindful of that and thinking about, okay, why isn't someone getting the cleaning solution and making this happen? Oh, we'll have that. Don't worry, man. We'll take care of that right away.
Yeah.
We're gonna. It's not deep to us. It's not hard. It's not, I just try to scrape it off with my hand. Huh? Oh, well, it looks like it didn't come off and gave it the old college try. What are we doing to be others focused with our business so that we don't lose credibility? It says, for every one customer, the last one is finding new customers and keeping them. For every one customer you lose, you need 2 more to support the growth of your company. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's very true. I mean, if you take care of your people, you're gonna definitely lose some, just as life happens. I have people that go off to college, they move whole states away. They may come back on break and get a hairdo or something like that, but you want to just offer the best service that you can, put out consistent quality work, and tell them it's okay to share when people ask them who did their hair, because as of right now, I'm not taking new clients because I'm booked up, so that's important to be aware too of your skill set and your abilities, so you don't overbook yourself and end up losing clients because of bad service.
So let's talk a little bit about, being that you have been in the space of serving in the businesses that you have owned, operated. What are some of the referability habits that you found have caused others to refer to you? You know, when somebody who's like, man, thank you. They're like good looking out. They get emotional.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
no.
We're like, you don't understand how much this helped me. You're just like, well, I just think I just did a service, but they're really pumped. Like,
Yeah.
I really feel good about this.
Yeah, no, the before and afters are woo. most referrals that I get from my male clients are for locks, and the level of comfort for some people is way different. Like some people, just the hair is just standing there, right? So if you can take this and transform it to look like something polished and neat, and it lasts for weeks, oh yeah, people will definitely come back. And I have people drive from Everett, you know, to get their hair done, which is wow to me, but I love it. You know, it's
Shout out to the Boondocks.
yeah, it's helped me provide for my family. So yeah, that's one thing, being on top of your skill set, and you have to constantly be working towards that level of mastery. You won't have to worry about finding new business if you consistently develop your skills and put out quality work.
As a child, growing up with my mom and my sister, I went to many occasions where they had to get their hair done, and I'm like, why am I being punished? What is going on? Because it was a whole excursion. I'm not even going to shout out some of the town staples and the names, but you pull up and they, have you eaten? Girl, go get something to eat, and we should be right ready for you. You know what? Go watch half of a movie and come back. You know, it was a lot of that. And so the time management, or let's not even say management, the respect for other people's time is imperative. If there's no respect, the customer feels that, and they're not gonna. I had one barber I've had to fire. I know you're looking, and some of you, if you're not in, it's a cultural thing. If some of you are looking and saying, why does he go to a barber shop? It's cultural, all right? It's an experience around this. But I had to fire one of the barbers that I've had to fire lots of barbers, but I fired one barber because he was a good barber. He was just always late, flaky, always. Pull up, they're like, he went to the store real quick. He'll be right back. Somebody was always running cover for him.
Yeah.
And finally, I just left because I wasn't gonna wait, because I had my schedule. I can't keep budgeting extra time and be now pushed back and be extra late to the things I have to do as a result of someone's lack of preparation on their part does not constitute an emergency on my part. So I had to shift and fire them for that very fact of your time is your most valuable asset, resource.
Flexibility, I think, is another thing that has really kept me able to stay out of the red. Being that I was a single parent, you know what I'm saying, and my kids were very active in sports. So oftentimes I would require that same flexibility that I often had to meet for other folks. You know, it's like my kid plays at 5. We don't know when the next game is, because this is a win or lose type of thing before you get the next game time. So I'd have to, you know, have some room, a little flexibility. It might take me a little longer to get there, and but it's really appreciated, coming, you know, being reciprocated. You know, I got an event last minute, or my flight changed, or a kid's sick, I can't get across town, you know, can you come a little later, can you squeeze me in, type of deal.
So this open communication.
Open communication, and not, you know, like you said, being overbooked, respecting their time, because their time is just as valuable as mine.
I pay my barber extra for when he's on time. Every time. I tip well because he's on time. When I pull up and he's already there and he's waiting, I'm like, let's go. You know, because I purposefully booked the first appointment. So I don't want there to be I want all the other barbers to be asleep. I want to be able to walk in and the lights was cut on shortly before I could still hear the hum of the lights, and the TVs are just still warming up, you know what I mean? And then sports centers just get loud because it's the loudest ones that try to wake you up. That's where I want to be. I don't want to be in there when it's crowded with everybody else and then you're pushed back buy time. So this is the way that we are going to eliminate these barriers, is being others focused, being mindful of our brand, being mindful of our culture and our atmosphere, being mindful of how we treat our colleagues, our employees, our team workers, our teammates. How do you treat your customers? If talking about, you got to get 2 customers for, okay, what about customer retention? How do you keep those customers that you currently have? How are you seeing them? How are you personalizing? How are you, as she said, being consistent, being timely? How are you, as she talked about with her experience, standing out from others so that they want to return back into your business establishment? What announcements do we have? Anything's coming up? This is time for our shameless plugging. We gave you all that value. Now you gotta sit through our commercial. Don't you cut off now. Click that notification, subscribe, all that reminder, do the YouTube comedy stuff, commenting so the algorithm goes up.
Absolutely. We always have something in store for you. So next up, lots of people have been waiting for our Sharks at the Beach 2024 cohort. Yes, we're those that are early in their business, trying to develop themselves so that they can speak to their business enterprise with ease and gain some new customers, possibly win some startup capital,
Yes.
resulting in one of the places in our pitch competition. So we're actively interviewing right now. You still have the ability to apply if you choose to do so. So go to our website, urbanimpactseattle.org, and click on Economic Development, Sharks at the Beach. We'd love to see you.
Any other announcement?
No, that's it. Yeah.
So sign up now. What are you waiting for? Stop sloughing. Get on there. Go to the website, www.urbanimpactseattle.org. Get that form filled out. We want you in the applicant pool. Refer others. Tell them to get off of their behind, get off their blessed assurance and make it happen. All right. Shalom, shalom. We'll see you next week.